Hello, everybody. It's Patrick, Trusty Huckster here. Thanks for everyone for joining, signing in a little bit early, and being all ready for the Trusty Vintage live sale, which will be taking place tonight. And if you hadn't heard and hadn't seen some of the promotions, we are doing a jewelry themed live sale tonight, but trying to mix it up a little bit so it's not just a bunch of jewelry. There's going to be some other jewelry related items mixed into it, but appreciate those of you who joined in. So hi, Lynn Hampton. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Katie, I just saw your note. Michelle, I heard that you had the marathon sale today. So I don't know when that finished. I was able to pick up the very first part of it. And then I saw that it was going on later too. So I hope you had a good sale. I hope you didn't tire everybody out. Hopefully they'll still join the sale tonight. Oh, Michael Todd's here. Hey, you're not working. That's great. Thanks for joining us, Michael. We've got Katie from Vintage Vinyl. So I saw that she was the one who had initially commented. I think she said Michelle's sale was a marathon sale. Casey at Austin, Texas. Welcome back, Casey. Oh, glad you got your package. At least your apartment got your package. So hopefully it arrived in good shape, good condition, and you enjoy it. EAB 9204, welcome back. And let's see, that appears to be the bulk of who is at least commenting on the sale tonight. So I know they've got some competition. There were a couple other sales that had started right before mine. And I think Crazy Lamp Lady has been doing some live haul videos that she starts an hour before me. Sometimes she finishes, sometimes she doesn't. So she might still be going on. Who knows? And who cares? You guys are here, and that's all that really matters, right? So hello to Sandy from For Sandy's Lilac. Welcome back. And Connie Emmerich. I don't think I've seen your name in a while, Connie. Welcome back, Connie. And Joanne, welcome back, Joanne Baber. Thank you for joining tonight. So hopefully, if you've been following me on some of my Instagram posts, you've seen some of what I'll be showcasing tonight with the jewelry specialty sale. But again, as I tried to show in a couple of the previews, we're going to mix it up a little bit. I've even got a book on jewelry. So if you're not looking for jewelry yourself, including this super stylish Puka necklace, which will be the first item that I put on sale tonight. Decided to, I'm probably going to have to, probably model some of these items for you. So I figured I'll just start off right with the Puka necklace. I'll give you a tip though. The Puka necklace for guys is supposed to be pretty short. This one is not. This is a woman's necklace, but I didn't actually have any men's jewelry that would show up on the video. So we just cheated a little bit, just kind of tucked that back there and makes it look just like we're back in the 70s with the chest hair and everything. Just my chest hair is a little bit grayer than it once was. But this will be the first item that we've got going tonight. Hey, Gabriel White is joining us again tonight from Canada. And Retro Cure Emporium, thanks for joining us again. Now, Gabrielle, you're going to have to give us a heads up. I know that there was some chat brewing last week that there might actually be an all Canada live sale, but I hadn't heard anything more if that was actually coming together. So I know that you were in the mix. AJ's was in the mix with Julie. There was another one that name escapes me. But that'd be a lot of fun. I'm not sure a lot of Americans, we might be shocked at how much it costs for shipping. It costs a lot to ship from America to Canada, but I've heard it's actually cheaper to ship from Canada into America. Whatever. But it would be fun just to have a theme sale of just all Canadian resellers. So if that's taking place, Gabrielle, definitely let us know because I'm sure we will all be on the lookout for it. And also, welcome Susan. Susan K is here. And Mama J has come back. Welcome, Mama J. Hi, Helen. And I saw another name that scrolled by that I just, Karen. Karen Radford has come back. So great, Karen. She got her big package, I think, earlier this week. I think there seems to be some delays in the Postal Service again. So even though almost everything I ship goes priority mail, I'm still hearing comments of things taking quite a bit for them to actually be delivered. So hopefully they will get a little bit better. I actually saw an article that the post office is actually putting U.S. Postal Service mail as a secondary delivery priority to Amazon mail because Amazon's paying them better, I guess. So that was intriguing, somewhat disturbing, but also somewhat understandable. In some cases, it is somewhat shocking that we can get things cross country for only 10 or 20 bucks. So hopefully the post office will survive this, but for now, I think we're all going to go through some bumpy times and as shipments go out. So just keep that in mind. If you're new to these live sales, also keep in mind that all the prices that I'll be giving you tonight do not include shipping. I am based outside of Chicago, so somewhat central. So shipping tends not to be super extreme. And most of what I'm covering tonight, because it is a jewelry themed sale, most of it is relatively lightweight. So you might be able to dodge a couple bullets that way. But just keep that in mind that as I give you a price, it will not include shipping. During the evening or after the sale is over, once you if you are successful in claiming an item, please send me an email to the email that's scrolling across the bottom of the screen and giving me your shipping address, particularly if you never bought from me before, because although we can see who's in the chat and we can see who's buying, we can't click on the icon. We can't get any information about you through the chat. So if you don't contact me to say, hey, I'm the one that got this and give me your shipping address, I have no way of reaching out to you if you've never bought from me before. So just keep that in mind. Also, for those who might be new this evening, if you have not participated in a live sale like this, you do need to keep in mind that fast internet is your friend, but there are some ways to try and help your internet a little bit. Right off the bat, if you end up hearing, I will be showing an item, I will give you the price, and then I will announce the lot number or the item number for what I'm showing. If you start seeing numbers appearing in the chat before you hear me say the number, you may not have realized it, but you've started buffering. You've fallen behind the live feed. So you need to refresh your screen. If you're on your computer, you can just hit refresh. If you're on your phone, you may need to close YouTube and open it back up again, whichever way you need to do it to refresh. Last night, I had a weird situation on George's premiere. I could get it to run on my TV faster than I could get it to run on my phone. And I've never heard that before. So it was like reverse of what it normally is. So just keep that in mind. Buffering does happen even if you don't know it. And that's one way to tell. The other way is if you're not seeing the number, well, basically, if you're just seeing the numbers happening before you even hear it, or like at the time you hear it, just go ahead and refresh between items, and that'll help you out a little bit because everyone has the problem. Also, keep in mind for anyone who's new, but in some cases we had to remind the people who've been around for a while too, you will typically be the first person you see in your own chat because you're pinging off your own internet. We will announce the winner based on who we see on our side of the feed. So just keep that in mind. Huckster Helper is here in the room today, so she will be posting in the chat who she sees as the winner. So she will be announcing the winner in the chat. I will also be popping over and looking at her notes and announcing them verbally. So if people miss it in the chat, you'll still be able to hear. So just keep in mind, and again, if you hear your name, congratulations, just make sure you send me an email, particularly if you've never bought from me before, with your shipping address. And also if you give me a fighting chance, if your email address and name have nothing to do with your YouTube name, I'd appreciate the hint, because in some cases it's very difficult to try and figure out. We take really good notes, so sometimes it helps with that. But we've gotten emails that just said, oh, I bought some stuff tonight here. And then it's kind of like a game. And sometimes it's fun to play that game. Sometimes it's not. So we're hopefully going to have some fun tonight. And we're going to go ahead and get things started. So tonight we are starting off with this quality 60s, 70s. And according to Gabrielle, it could also have been 80s. I was a child of the 70s, and I don't remember these going into the 80s. But who knows? It is a puka shell necklace. So this one is a little bit longer. This is probably more of a female length as opposed to the way I was wearing it, tucked back. It does actually have a clasp on it, which, because it's a female, hey, I got it off. It does have it's a barrel clasp. So it actually twists together. So it's actually a really nicely made necklace. It's not just like tied. It's actually, it has real jeweler's findings on it. A lot of the items I've tried to find markings to see if they are signed in any way. Most of them are not, but there are a handful that are, and I will highlight those. This one is not, and I am selling it as part of a pair with a very, very, very large other style of puka. necklace. So this one, the pukas, the shells are square, roughly square in shape, with the hole down the middle, and so they're stacked to look like what most of us remember. Sometimes they're rounded. These are actually square. This style I don't actually remember from my childhood, but they're basically like rods that are strung down the middle. So they spin freely to kind of create almost like a Flintstone effect with bones, but they can be straightened out, so they are flat. So this is an extremely long set that if I model these, you basically, even if you double them up, you could probably even triple them up because there is quite a length. Okay, well, you knew it better than I did because I just about strangled myself. But these, this one does not have a clasp because obviously it's so long, you can just slide these over. So start off with the sale. We've got these 2 puka shell necklace. I'm selling them as a pair. You can have them as a pair for $5 by giving me number 23. 23, $5 for the pair of puka shell necklaces. And okay, we're going to see. My hair is going to go completely wonky by the time this evening is done. All right. Another item that we're selling as a set or as a pair is we are going to have anyone who's on the chat with the initials of an A. If you don't know, the Huckster Helper's first name is Amelia. And so these were, this was a necklace that was given to her by her grandmother that the Huckster Helper has chosen not to continue to wear. This was from probably when she was an early teenager. This isn't going to fall necessarily into the vintage, although there's a little bit of age to it. So you've got the gold tone A necklace, and then you also have this little leatherette travel jewelry box, which is also got the A initials on it. So it has the mirror on the inside, and then it has a place for rings down the middle, and then the little inserts pop out. So you've got kind of this little container that you can put your loose items, bracelets into the sides. And then you put this over the top of them so that when you close it up and travel, theoretically, they don't fall out loose and start tangling all over the inside of the jewelry box. It's a very nice piece. Again, we're not talking about super age. This is probably a little bit older because I think this was from when she was a kid. So you're probably talking, this is maybe 10 to 15 years old. This is probably around the 5 to 10 years old. So we're not technically going to be in the vintage sale, but it's just a cute little set, inexpensive set. You get both the gold tone necklace and the little travel jewelry box for $7 by giving me number 36. So number 36, $7 for the pair of the necklace and the monogrammed jewelry box. All right, I'm going to go into another necklace, trying to clear some of the things that are right in front of me on my table so I don't inadvertently knock them off and down onto the floor. This one is one that I actually thought might have been signed, but as it turns out, it was not. This is a mother of pearl, I believe is considered a mother of pearl chip, and I assumed it was in silver, but unfortunately I cannot find anything on here that indicates it is silver. It doesn't say sterling, it doesn't say 925. So I'm just gonna have to say that this is a silver tone necklace. And it's just this very small, and the pendant is independently hung. So it slides on and off. So you would have the silver tone chain in addition to if you wanted to take the actual charm or the little pendant off. So you can kind of see a little bit of the coloration on there. I thought it showed better on the black, but it looks like it's doing better holding it this way. So you've got a nice little detail around the outside of it. It is set into prongs, but it's not, to my knowledge, it is not a valuable stone. It appears to just simply be mother of pearl, but it gives kind of a cool effect. So this one is actually a really nice piece. And this one is selling as an individual set, or individual necklace, not part of a set, just for the necklace. You're looking at $10 for number 14. So number 14, $10 gets you, and this would be vintage. This is from actually the Huckster Helper's grandmother, my mother. So this is probably 70s or 80s when she would have been wearing something like this. So 14 for $10. All right, let me back up into the chat before we go too far here. So we've got number 23. The puka shell necklace went to Sandy at 4 Sandy's Lilac. So congratulations, Sandy. And 36, the necklace and jewelry box, letter A, went to Karen Radford. So congratulations, Karen. Thank you for picking both of those up. Going to get this piece out because I keep hitting it. I'm afraid it's going to knock it to the floor. This is one of the non-jewelry items that I was going to that I am offering into the sale tonight. If you followed my Instagram, you would have seen this being promoted. So hopefully most of us will recognize, because she is vintage, but she's been around. Hey, Nate. Hey, Kim. This is Madeleine Albright. But what a lot of people may not have known about Madeleine Albright is that you can see she has a brooch on her jacket. She used to wear a different brooch anytime she met with a world leader, had a meeting with the president, anything like that. She would change the brooch to meet the experience, to meet the attitude, to meet the location where she was. So she had an entire collection of pins. And what this ended up doing, she wrote a book called Read My Pins. And it's just a really cool analysis of a lot of the jewelry that she had. And most of her stuff was not going to fall completely into costume jewelry. You know, she's going to have some high-end stuff, but would talk about, you know, maybe where the most significant location was that she wore some of her jewelry. So it's just one of those cases. The Queen of England does the same thing. There were some stories that when she met President Trump for the first time, she wore a brooch that was given to her by the Obamas. You can do what you want with that information. But regardless, so we've got a book. Now, this is a hardcover book. This is a table, you know, a coffee table style book. This has some weight to it. So depending on what else you buy, most likely this would probably ship on its own as media mail. It qualifies for media mail as an educational piece. There's no advertising in here, so it totally would qualify, but I would not be able to stick another piece of jewelry, like if you bought something else. So this would probably be a case where you would buy this and have it shipped on its own. And if you buy anything else, it would come just in its own shipment. So just keep that in mind. But if you do this media mail, pretty much no matter where I mail it in the country, you're probably not going to pay more than $6 or $7 for this to be mailed. So it's media mail is our friend in this case, because this is probably about a 4 or 5 pound book, and regular mail, this would be very expensive. So, but the book itself you can get for only $5. So the book is $5. It is a first edition. If you remember one of my lessons from an earlier sale, let me prove it really quick, is if you, this one I think might actually even say first edition, but it doesn't have to say first edition to know that it is, because it will give you the, I remember this was weird. It had multiple pages where you got to the Library of Congress. See, it says first edition, but if you look a couple lines below it, you see the run of numbers. Because the number 1 still exists on the page, it means this is the first edition. When they reprint it, they will actually cut that 1 out of the line. So then when they print that page, they'll take the line that says first edition away. The 1 will also go away. And so the lowest number you'll see is a 2, which means that printing will be the second edition. So they were planning to do multiple editions of this one. This happens to be a first edition, and you can get it as a first edition for $5 by giving me number 51. $5, number 51. All right. We're going to go a little boho. Got Michelle from Comfy Cozy Living on the line. So we're going to show off some boho jewelry that I would say probably 60s, maybe 70s. We're dealing with a macrame necklace. So because I have to show off everything, this does fit my very thick neck. It's got a weird clasp that I'm not used to, but it does fit. Not, you know, this could be used to kill me, but it does fit. And so you've got the length goes, you know, mid sternum. Sorry, probably making noise on my microphone, but so you've got some length to it. I have a 17.5 inch round neck. So that is exactly what size this is, because that was hitting me on all sides going around. So it is for, you know, I've got a pretty thick neck, so just keep that in mind, but that is the size it would go. You could probably just wear it without it being clasped, and then you'd have quite a bit more, because this, I was going to say it slides on here. It doesn't appear to be glued or anything. It's just really, really tightly attached, but you might be able to slide that so that it landed here if you needed it to be a little bit more open. But you can see it's got the big bead in the center. It's got the little beads up at the top and then just the macrame knots to make the design going all the way down. It was stored in a bag, so it's got a little bit of twistiness going on to it. So you may need to, maybe steam it or do something to make that relax itself a little bit. But I thought this was just a super cool necklace. I thought of you, Michelle, when I picked it up. Not saying you need to buy it, but you're my boho queen. So I really thought that this was something that would fit to what you were looking for. So we've got the boho metal necklace with the macrame pendant. It's available for $10 and it's number 85. Number 85 for the macrame pendant necklace. All right. Moving into something a little bit larger. This, from best we can figure out, my daughter and I, we kind of had a tag team on some of these things. We believe this is actually a belt because the clasp is very thick. It's very heavy. Now, because you guys seem to like when I model things, this again fits me. So this is not necessarily made for the petite princess. Although if you were thinner, you would be able to wear this. You'd have another piece that would dangle down. I'm going to take this all the way to its end and clasp it. Okay. Stay with me here. I can do this. I think I gained weight over dinner because this fit earlier. Oh, there we go. So I'd bring it down a little bit. So you've got this double drop waist. So look, it's even too big. How fun. So you've got this double drop waist with these gold tone with glass in the middle that if you put this against something really flat, you would have a really nice drape to it. And then again, if you were thinner, you would be able to take this clasp and knot it farther up the chain. Let's see if I suck it in. So you can get a little bit of a dangling chain on it, which I think is the way it was designed to be. So depending on your size, I'm probably hovering at this point, kind of gained some weight during the pandemic. I'm probably hovering around a 36 to a 38 inch waist. So you're probably looking at, from tip to tip, about a 38 inch wrap. So I don't know how that compares to women's sizing, because I know that you guys use a different size. Any guys that want to buy this, you now know you could use this as your new belt. So it's in really good condition. All the pieces are still there. All the glass is still in place. I don't know the era of this, but I'm guessing this is an 80s, 90s type of thing, because I think you picture the straight black sheath dress and that this wrapped around the middle, that this would have been a really attractive piece. So there's a little bit of age, but this again is a piece that's not marked. So this is $12 and you can get it by giving me number 28. $12, number 28 for the glass and gold tone belt. All right, jumping back to a necklace. This is an interesting piece. This happens to be another piece that was given to the huckster helper by her grandmother, my mother. It does have kind of the barrel clasp on it again, but this one appears to be made out of plastic, which I'd never seen before. So I'm not sure necessarily if this is a super high quality piece, because what it is it's got the clasp, it's in good condition, but you can, if you look at this is like spun paper that's then been lacquered or Mod Podged or whatever you do to paper to keep it from unrolling itself. So you've got this continuing chain of these paper made beads and then little beads, like traditional beads, and then another paper made bead. This one is relatively small. This is probably, I should have brought the tape measure over, but if I put it on, you can see again how far this one will fall down. So you've got a little bit of length, so it's not a choker length, so that maybe puts this into maybe the 16 to 18, well, it's gotta be more than that, so like 18 to 20 inch range. And see if I can get it undone. So this piece is a piece of huckster helper history, and you can have it for only $4. So the shellacked, the Mod Podged paper beads, $4. You get the necklace by giving me number 54. 54, $4 for the little green and gold paper bead necklace. All right. One of the things that you're going to see tonight, well, let me go ahead and show you a piece of it. So I'm going to talk about the display piece in a little bit, but we're going to talk about the necklace first. So this necklace is actually one of the signed pieces that I do have. So it's still costume jewelry. It's not 14 karat or anything like that. Again, I would say based on its size and its weight, and I will say this is a hefty piece. This definitely has some heft to it, but it is signed Edwin Pearl. So it was a name that was not known to me, but if it might be known, if you do costume jewelry, that is a name you probably have come across. So it isn't a signed Edwin Pearl piece. It's an absolutely perfect condition. They're heavy gold, individual articulated accented pieces that just have the tops of them enameled. So you can kind of see that it's just taken the gold tone and then it has the tops of them are enameled in black. It does have the flat clasp on the top. That is where it is signed. So it does open up. I'm not going to try and do the clasp, but this, again, you can see this is a little bit shorter. This is probably more like a 18-inch necklace. So this is more the choker length, but it is signed Edwin Pearl on the back of the clasp. So this piece is available for $15 by giving me number 26. 26 for the Edwin Pearl signed black and gold necklace for $15. And let me back up into the chat and see where we're at. So let's see, number 51, the Read My Pins book went to Lori C. Number 28, the glass and gold tone belt went to Lynn Johnson. Number 85, the boho macrame necklace went to Michelle at Comfy Cozy Living. Congratulations, Michelle. And I think I announced that one already. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we are good. All right. So what I wanted to show, I had to get that necklace off there first, is I'm also going to be selling the some of the display pieces. So one set that I have is this large necklace holder. So the one that was holding that big black and gold necklace. You get this. You get 3 of the ring holders. And you get a bracelet ramp. So you've got something to display your larger necklaces, flat velvet, black velvet curve to display your bracelets, and your 3 of the ring holders. You get the full set of 5 pieces for $20. And just so you are aware, there are 3 of these. So if more than one person wants it, the first 3 people to claim will get them. If you want more than one, you need to claim one, and then you need to put the number in again. And we will provide them, award them in the order that they are received. So it's $20 for this big necklace holder, the half round bracelet ramp, and 3 of the individual ring holders. $20 for the set of 5 by giving me number 53. So 53 is $20 for all of those pieces. And again, we have 3 sets of them available. So if more than one person wants one, we actually have backup, and happy to provide. And yes, Nate, that is a good price. I paid way more for those when they were new. At the old house, the Huckster helper had her own bedroom, of course, but she also had a closet dedicated to her shoes and her jewelry. And we had a built-in cubbyhole system, or like those cube shelf systems built into the walls. And those pieces were all, she had a ton of jewelry. So those of you who are thinking that she shouldn't be giving away her grandmother's jewelry, trust me, she's got plenty more. So basically these have been wadded up in a bag, literally a bag, her old duffel bag from camp. And I'm like, we need to get rid of these things. And so this sale was a perfect place to make them available. So $20, and it looks like at least 3 people did claim them. So congratulations. And they're very lightweight. The box will have to be a little bit bigger. Obviously, that necklace one's pretty big, but they're very lightweight. They're just foam. So the shipping will not be a problem. So congratulations to all who are getting those. All right, and that just freed up a lot of space. Okay, so since we're talking about her grandmother, we're going to jump into another piece. This is another signed piece. And like I said, I don't have, not everything signed, but I do have a handful. And some of them, most of the signed ones are actually the ones that come from her grandmother. So they are some really nice pieces. This one is a vintage Napier necklace. So if you know anything about costume jewelry, I don't know much about costume jewelry. This was one of these opportunities for me to learn because I don't know a lot about costume jewelry. Even I knew the name Napier. So that is a very well-known name. They started in 1955, so they are by definition they started in mid-century modern. Or no, Napier is actually older than that. Park Lane is 1955. But this piece, and you can kind of tell by the look of it, is going to fall into the probably 70s. I don't think these heavy rope necklaces were common in the 60s, and they may have gone into the 80s. So again, this is my mother's. So I basically grew up with her wearing all kinds of things like this. And her jewelry was the stuff I had to search the most because she did a lot in white gold and platinum. And so when you end up with a silver tone chain, I didn't want to be selling something for super inexpensive if it turns out to be platinum. So this one is Napier. Napier did not do gold. They did some yellow gold early on, but this is obviously not yellow gold. It's a silver tone. It does have the signed clasp right there at the top. You can see it's got the lobster claw. Again, probably 60s, maybe, or probably 70s, maybe 80s. It is available for $18 for the signed Napier necklace by giving me number 16. $18, number 16 for the Napier necklace. And the set of jewelry stands went to Karen Dondelinger, Stacy Brinkley, and Michelle at Mermaid Cove. So congratulations to the three of you for picking up those 3 sets. If you weren't successful in getting that set, we actually have another set that these are just, well, they're primarily for necklaces, but they're a different style. So this is a necklace, a tall necklace stand. You can see at the very top, there are holes to hold a pair of earrings. And then at the very bottom, there's a slot to hold the ring. So these were designed, for the good old days where everything matched, or you have a match set where you would take the necklace, the earrings, and the ring, and you'd store them all together because they came together, they matched. This piece itself is not vintage, but the style or the idea behind this style, which has been around for a super long time, any retail store would offer these. This would be designed for a 3-piece set. So this grouping that I'm going to offer gives you this one piece of this tall one that holds all 3 pieces of your suite, and then also 2 shorter versions where they do the exact same thing. They hold the necklace, they hold the pierced earrings, and then they also have the slot at the bottom to hold the ring. This set of 3 is available for $8, and there are 2 sets of these. So the first 2 people to claim these, you get the set of 3 of the necklace skyscraper and the shorter ones for $8 by giving me number 34. Number 34, $8 for the 3-piece jewelry stands. All right. Believe it or not, I have more shell jewelry. This is your statement piece. I would say this would also go into a boho style look. We'll see how many things that Michelle can add to her boho motif. This to me would also look great, even just draped over a box or something in a display in a boho vignette. But it is the larger shells. So from doing a little bit of research, I understand these are still considered puka shell necklaces, even though they're not the flat anymore. So you've got these paired up sets of shells that alternate to make up the bulk of the rope. It goes down into the tiny little conch shells to make it almost like it's trying to be like a rosary bead. It's not, but it then goes all the way down into this medallion, which is also made with the large spiral shell and then the little tiny shells both front and back. So if it spins around, you don't have to worry about the right or the wrong size. So of course, I will wear it. It is fairly long. So again, take this into consideration. This is a fairly decent sized necklace. It is a statement piece, and you can make your statement for $5. $5 for this shell medallion necklace by giving me number 48. Number 48 for the $5 for the shell medallion necklace. All right, so you're going to buy all this jewelry. You're going to need a place to put it. So one of the things that we've got tonight is quite a few trinket boxes and jewelry boxes for your collection. So even if you're not trying to add to your jewelry collection, a couple things you might be able to pick up. And again, going into the vintage world of Hummel. Amelia wondered why I went into such a weird diatribe last week talking about my grandparent or my parents picking up a hitchhiker and receiving a Hummel figurine in payment. I don't know, just felt like it was something to say. But here's a Hummel box. This is not our Hummel box. I picked this up specifically for this sale because I wanted to offer something other than jewelry. The box itself is not marked, but I take that back. The bottom of the box is not marked, but the top of the box has the MJ Hummel signature right in the decal. And then as I took the lid off, it is marked. It has the signature on the inside that it's MJ Hummel, and it's actually Lily of the Valley. And it also says something in German. Maiglocken. I've got my little translator standing over there. Reuter porcelain. So it is actually a major manufacturer of porcelain. So it is a Reuter porcelain box. So I'm surprised they didn't actually mark the box with the Reuter porcelain signature by itself, but it's there right in the lid. So you've got the Reuter porcelain box of the Hummel with the Hummel image. It's a fairly decent size, a couple inches tall. You know, this would hold quite a bit. It's almost the size of a powder box, but the lid doesn't fit tightly enough on the top for I think it to be properly a powder box. So I think this really is just it's a trinket box for your jewelry. The MJ Hummel box is available for $6. And I did not break it. It's available for $6 by giving me number 43. 43, $6 for the Hummel trinket box. All right, we're going to go into some brooches. We've got the book for Madeline Albright's brooches, where we're going to give you some brooches of your own. I really liked this piece, and as I picked it up, I just discovered it has a signature, and I don't know what it says. It says Israel. Okay, so we have an enameled on copper pin that is also manufactured to be a pendant. It is signed on the pendant loop. That is what I missed. I looked at the back. I'm like, oh, it's not signed. It's signed up there on the pendant hook. It just says Israel, so it's not a manufacturer's mark, but it is country of origin. So this is not coming up particularly well in the camera. It's kind of a gunmetal background, so like a really, really dark gray. It's not black, but it's also not green, which I'm seeing on my screen that this is almost coming up green. The green is in the little leaves. So if you look at the contrast, you can see that there is green on there, but the rest of it is really a dark gray. So it's not black, it's a dark gray. It has the copper running through the middle for the branch. And then I believe those would be considered pomegranates. So it's a pomegranate tree, 3 pomegranates, which are the 3 months of winter that who was stuck in Persephone. So she ate the 3 seeds. So grew into 3 pomegranates. That's how long winter is supposed to last. I don't know why I shared that. But anyway, so we've got a enamel on copper brooch, stamped Israel. It is $8, and you can have it by giving me number 33. Number 33, $8 for the copper and enamel brooch. Back up a little bit to see where we're at. So the set of 3 of the skinnier necklace and earring and ring holder went to Lori Costa and to Karen Dondelinger. So congratulations to both of you. And Karen, you had also picked up the other sets. You're going to have all kinds of things to display your jewelry on. So congratulations. And the number 43, the Hummel trinket box, went to Lynn Johnson. So congratulations to Lynn. All right, we're gonna move into a bracelet, kind of like looking like what I've got around me to try and change things up a little bit. This is actually a Huckster Helper original. Oh, it's not really, she didn't make it, but this was a gift that I gave her and that she wore somewhat regularly in the steampunk style. As she moved on to college, she moved into different style. Steampunk ended up not being something she decided to retain, but it is a very, very cool necklace. So it has all the individual gears. They're all individually put together. You know, this was one of those cases. We purchased this from one of those artisans at a art and craft fair. So I will just say it wasn't cheap when we bought it, but it's a very cool looking copper and brass combination bracelet. So you've got the clasp is, you know, all in place. Obviously we're not going to get what we paid for it, but it is a really attractive piece. It looks striking on a hand. I can try and, you know, do it across my brace. Doesn't look great. Do it on my good one. It does lay flat. So just that's worth pointing out that even though it has all those gears, it does lay flat. It is available for $13. And yes, Michael Todd, you can use this as a weapon. $13 and is number 27. Katie likes steampunk too. So $13 for the steampunk bracelet. All right. Going to go to something a little bit different. This was an item that I picked up from George, the Antique Nomad. So if people have watched my channel in the past, you've seen this was at the end of June. Several of us did kind of an impromptu, unofficial meetup where we ended up in Kentucky to shop an estate sale that George from the Antique Nomad was setting up. So I was down there with Fatbird Finds, I'm Trusty Huckster, Real Nifty Vintage, and Thrifter Junker Vintage Hunter. All of us ended up putting out, including George, putting out a series of videos. My last one got posted over the weekend. So if you check into all of our individual pages, you will find all kinds of content. But one of the things that happened at George's sale was he was encouraging, I'm not going to say he was actively encouraging it, but he was making comments that made me feel like he was trying to encourage us to get out of our comfort zones and purchase items that we don't normally carry, because he had a lot of collections. Because these were estates. This was his first estate sale that he was offering since COVID locked everything down. So he had all kinds of homes, you know, from individuals who were trying to sell their collections. So he was pointing out certain areas that we tended not to dally in or, you know, dabble in at all. And one of the areas was jewelry. So again, this was one of the impetus to get me to do this type of a sale. And one of the pieces that he highlighted was this little compact. So it is a signed compact, and it is dated with the original patent number of 1924. So you can see that at the bottom, 1924 patent date. Doesn't mean that this specific one was made in 1924. It's when the mold was made. But you think about it, you're probably not going to promote a patent for much longer than maybe 5 or 10 years before people are like, why are you promoting your patent? Like, it's 10 years old. So this is probably a late 20s compact. It does have the name of the manufacturer also at the top. It's called Armand, A-R-M-A-N-D. So it has a French name, but underneath the patent, it does have made in the USA. It's in absolutely a pristine condition. It has a friction clasp. So unlike a spring one where you push down the button, this one does snap shut just by the friction of the top going into the bottom. He did a video where he talked about that's how you ruin compacts, by closing them without springing them. This one, you can't do that. It's not designed. So the patent did not include a spring-loaded patent. But again, we're talking about something that was designed in the dead of the Deco era. And so it has what also is a very throwback to a Marie Antoinette 18th century hairstyle. But what's really cool about this, and I think Katie's really getting excited, this is all engine turned. So the design that went onto the front as well as the back, it's absolutely pristine. It's beautiful. It's in wonderful condition. It's just gold filled, gold tone. It's not marked in any way. So it's not a super expensive in the materials. It's just a beautiful piece for the era. And it's just a very small lightweight, so easy to ship, compact, and you can pick it up for only $9. So $9 by giving me number 78. Number 78, $9 gets the Armand compact from the 20s. All right. One of the items I had picked up, I decided to keep as a mixed lot. I purchased it as a lot, and I was going to split them up, but then I just decided this was one of those areas that, yes, I wanted to offer a sale, and I wanted to learn from some of you guys. You know, sometimes you guys know stuff that I don't know, that I need to learn, you know, what makes something more valuable. So this is a case where I'm going to offer a mixed lot of 3 ladies' watches at a very low price, because the individual watches themselves are all just stainless. So there's no value specifically in the case. One of them is a Timex watch. This one is the Timex watch. You can see the crystal still in great condition. It's the stretch band. So this is, again, probably a 70s or 80s watch. You also then have a two-tone watch. I would think maybe from, well, I would say the two-tone makes me think it's 80s, but I don't think the ladies' watches had that narrow of a band in the 80s. I could be wrong on that. I didn't tend to wear women's watches, but the brand is called Rumors, and it's spelled Rumours. So it's trying to be a little bit highfalutin, but again, it is still a stainless steel on the back. And then this one has, and you can see in the band, there's actually the curvature where the watch is in the middle, and then the band actually has the permanent curve built into it, and then the flexible chain and the rest. This one simply has the word diamond on it, but we all know it says diamond. It means it doesn't have a diamond. It just has a piece of glass up at the top that makes it look like, you know, it's a fancy watch. It also says on the back that the casing is stainless steel. So the 3 of these watches, I have no idea whether they work. I have no idea. I didn't even pop the backs to see if they're winding watches or if they're batteries. Probably should have done that. But regardless, I'm making the 3 of them available, even if they're just decorative pieces. I originally purchased these to be props, and then I decided, you know what, I'm just going to sell these. So it's all 3 watches you can get for $9. So $3 a watch, basically. $9, even if something's broken, you could probably afford to go get it fixed. $9 by giving me number 79. $9.79, and you get all 3 of the ladies' watches. All right. Moving into another necklace. So this one may have been steampunk era. This is giving me the vibe of a Vision and Vintage. It is a bumblebee on a white ground with a gold chain. The way the lights are hitting it, it's shining so much, but it's got a white area. You can see that it's kind of got a white ivory background. It's probably resin shell, maybe. Again, this is not a marked piece. It has it's got a thick mount to it. And was that a signature? One moment. No, not a signature. Just a brush on the gold. So, and then you've got the chain itself. This, again, was one of Amelia's necklaces. We're not sure where this one came from. We're not sure the history on it. We're not sure how much we paid for it. So we're just passing it off as kind of a cool looking necklace with, again, a fairly long chain. See how long that is? You can get it for $6. So $6 happens to be number 6. $6, number 6 for the B necklace. All right. Going to jump to another brooch. This is this is a brooch that I picked up at George's. So again, George is encouraging us to get into some other areas. Several of the ones that he sold, unfortunately, again, they were not marked. But this one is absolutely beautiful. I would say, based on the size of it, the spray aspect of the stones, this to me reminds me more of a 50s, 60s piece. But I don't know. All he could really say was that it came from the estate of an elderly woman. That probably would have been the era when she would have been wearing, you know. And there was tons of jewelry. I think Jeffrey bought quite a bit. So you probably could find one of his videos and he might even have other pieces. I don't think we ended up splitting up any sort of the set, but and Michelle, Southern Mermaid is agreeing that this is a 50s piece. It's silver tone. I was a little surprised I could not find a signature on this one, because this to me seems of a high enough quality that there would have been a signature. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear to be signed. So it's a simple silver tone with most likely blue glass. I can't imagine they're aquamarine if it's not marked sterling. And if it is, well, congratulations, because you can pick it up for $9. So it's a $9 brooch for giving me number 46. $9, number 46 for the blue stone silver tone spray 1950s brooch. All right, this one I had to kind of go back into my notes, and it turns out I did not buy this from George, but I thought I did because I bought that other compact from him, and I think after I bought that, I came across this one, so I went ahead and picked it up just so I didn't have one lone compact available. This one happens to be still stamped. It is Estee Lauder Willow Green Eyeshadow Glow. It's an enameled top. The enamel's in really good condition, but there are a couple, I'm trying to like show it in a way. There are a couple of scratches across it. Nothing that super affects it. You can see it's hard for me to show them. But so the enamel's in really good condition, and it has this filigree piece on the top that has these little tiny stone glass chips set into it. They are all there. And it's just, again, this is not marked. I couldn't find any, so I don't believe this is any precious metals or any precious stones. But I did find this exact piece online selling very nicely, fairly common, at a fairly decent prices. But I'm going to try and pass it on because I got a pretty decent price. I'll pass a decent price to you. This one, unlike the other one, though, actually has stuff in it. So it has a sponge, which is very brittle. It's already, you can see there's a crack running across it, but underneath it, if I can do this without making a mess, is still the green eyeshadow. Now that color of eyeshadow, I'm not sure what era we're looking at. In the case, I would have said that that was a 50s style case, but the fact that it's willow green, we're probably 60s, maybe even 70s. So if you have any comments on that aspect of it, but it's an absolutely beautiful compact, just happens to still have the makeup in it. Most of them don't, but I don't think there's any issue selling it with the makeup in it. But you can pick it up for yourself for $12. So $12 for the Estee Lauder compact by giving me number 17. $12, number 17 for the Estee Lauder compact. So going back into the chat, falling behind. So number 46, the Blue Stone Spray Brooch went to D at Thrill of the Thrift. Congratulations. Number 6, the Bumblebee Necklace went to Pamela Blanchard. So congratulations, Pamela. 79, the set of 3 watches went to Jenny X. So congratulations to Jenny. And the Armand Compact went to EAB9204. And I might have announced that one already. So I am caught up in the chat. All right. Next piece is another necklace. This was going into, again, a very long necklace. I happened to get this at the same location as I got that glass belt. And initially I thought this was a belt as well. It is definitely long enough to be a belt, but at a closer inspection, it does have the regular necklace chain clasp to it. So it is just a very long chain. You can double it up and still slide it over your head without taking the chain off. And you can see how far down even a doubled up necklace is. So this is a very long necklace. Again, gold tones, not signs, not any special precious metal, but it's extremely attractive with all of the individual gold pieces articulated between individual jump rings, and then multiple colors. You've got green, you've got blue, and you've got red. So you just got some beautiful colors. Looks like, is there an amber in there too? Yeah, and you've got amber. So maybe still boho, but this also seems to me something, we're getting a little blingy. So this is getting into like maybe even 90s, like 80s, 90s. But regardless, the super long necklace, it's available for $12 by giving me number 21. $12 for the multicolored gold tone necklace. All right. Believe it or not, we've got more shells. So this set is, and I did buy them all in the same place, so it wasn't like there's suddenly this flood of shell jewelry floating around the Chicagoland area. These were all purchased in the same location. These are individually 3 separate necklaces, but they're all I hate to say it, the simplest of them. They're the smallest style shells. So you can see this has those little tiny conch shells. It has a couple of places where they've mixed it up a little bit, and you've got this set of 4 shells that are strung together as kind of like a ring in between. So you've got a little bit of dimension, a little bit of variety. Then you also have just one that is simply the back of it is the small shells, or the part that goes around your neck. And then as you get to the front, you've got this section that has the larger pairs of shells like we saw in that one with the monumental medallion on it. And then the third piece is similar to that one in the sense that it has those accents on the front, but the background is a little bit, they're a little bit smaller. They could kind of match, but this one, the shells are slightly larger than the shells on this one. So, but they are the same length. So all 3 of these are pretty much about the same size, about the same appearance. So I decided to go ahead and keep them together as a set of 3 necklaces for $5. So if you like the shell jewelry, you can have a set of 3 necklaces for $5 by giving me number 12. Number 12, $5 for the set of all 3 of those necklaces. All right, moving on to something that you need to put the jewelry into. Got another trinket box. This is again a decent sized trinket box. This is a vintage box because this is the silhouette wear that was popular in the 30s. This is a Furstenberg porcelain piece. It's not stamped Furstenberg, it's stamped with that scripted F with the crown over it. And how do I know that's Furstenberg? Because I have coasters that are in that same porcelain, and that's how I learned my Furstenberg china. And I always remember it because I always have to remember Diane Furstenberg, von Furstenberg. Again, why did I share that? Because I couldn't even pronounce her name. But regardless, it's this cool gold tone with the black silhouettes. It is marked on the bottom. It's in absolutely perfect condition, no chips, no cracks. It is a little shallower than the Hummel one, but again, it's pretty decent, decent size across. So this one is similar to the Hummel. It is $6, and you can get that by giving me number 22. Number 22 for the Furstenberg porcelain trinket box. All right. Going a little bit more contemporary, probably within the last 5 to 10 years. People are probably familiar. Again, this is a name that I knew. People are probably familiar with Lea Sophia. I'm not sure if it's developed into quite a collector's item yet, but I think it is still being sold. This piece is a little bit older, but I can't tell exactly how old. But this piece is signed as a Lea Sophia piece. It has the little dangly piece at the top. It has the double chain connected to the top pieces. So it is not a, this is not a pendant that you would slide off. This is a combined piece. It is a signed Lea Sophia. It has the kind of the citron, lime colored, citrus colored stones. You can have that for $11 by giving me number 29. $11 for the Lea Sophia necklace. All right. One of the items you might have seen if you followed me on Instagram or Facebook, I think it showed up there as well, is again, I was trying to find some variety into the definition of jewelry, and not everyone is going to want to sit through a sale of just necklaces and brooches. So this was something that I was specifically on the hunt for, and I found a set of hat pins. So I found the pins, and then independently I found the hat pin holder. Now, what's worth noting on this is a hat pin holder because it does not have the hole in the bottom. This is sized enough that it wouldn't be confused with a salt and pepper shaker, but a lot of times salt and pepper shakers get called hat pin holders, particularly if they're the larger size, like from a range set or something. Like, oh, look, it's so big and it holds hat pins. No, it just holds a lot of salt. If it doesn't have the stopper or the hole or the stopper in the bottom, it is then designed to be either a vase, or because this one has the tiny holes in addition to the larger hole in the center, this is designed to be a hat pin holder. So the Huckster Helper and I went through back and forth on this to try to decide what was the best way to sell these. And not everyone will already have a hat pin holder or have hat pins. This might start a new collection. So you've got a couple of different sets in here. The largest one is this with a large glass ball on the end. This is nice because you can see the shank still has the point on it. So this is actually still an antique hat pin in its original condition. The shank has not been broken off. As you get to some of the shorter ones, this one actually it's shorter, but this one also still has the point on it. It might be the other. I've got two sets of these. These all still have their points on them. So these are actually all, oh no, that was, I was gonna say, I thought there was one in here. You can see that one's been blunted a little bit. That has snapped off at some point. That would have been, that would have had a point. Now the benefit is it's snapped off, but it's actually still the tallest one in the holder. So unlike one I'll show you later that snapped off so much it kind of it kind of shrinks into it. This is a set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 individual hat pins plus the hat pin holder. The hat pin has the chop mark on the bottom, and I did some research on it. That is a 20th century chop mark, late 20th century. So we're not talking about a huge amount of age to this. So this was designed, I hate to use the word reproduction because it wasn't a reproduction, but people didn't need hat pins in the last part of the 20th century. So this was designed to hold a collection. And I think it does it very nicely. Unfortunately, when I purchased it, there's a little bit of discoloration at the bottom. You can see the white. I thought that was sticker residue. So I go, I'll just be able to wipe that off. And unfortunately, it's not. It's actually where some of the paint has been worn away. I still think it's attractive. If you put it on display, you're really not going to notice that because all it's done is exposed the lighter color that's up here in the ground. So you've got the hat pin holder, the set of 8 hat pins. You get all of it together for $15 by giving me number 56. $15 for the hat pin holder and the set of hat pins. All right. Everyone seems to like, and maybe this is like universal, but at least in the live chats, there seems to be this great interest in elephants. So when I came across this piece, I knew I had to pick it up. So this one is a vintage charm bracelet with, backwards, with individual elephants on it. So going from the end, you've got the clasp on the end. I believe that one's considered a C clasp, if I'm correct. Then you've got a little bell, one elephant, another bell, and then a pair of elephants, another bell, another elephant, and then another bell. And then you've got the ring on the end. I honestly don't know how old this is. These little bells actually seem to have some roughness to them, like they might be partially oxidized, but that also is something that comes out of India. You know, they make things that look like that. So I don't know if this is truly a vintage piece. I think it is, but I could be wrong. You know, this is something I did acquire specifically for this sale. I just think it's super cool. The elephants are very nicely detailed. Of course, their trunks are up, but they are one-sided. The back side of the elephant is the reverse cast side of it. So they're not, it's not like front and back, but it's a charm bracelet. Very cute. Very, I think very attractive. You can have it for $16 by giving me number 25. Number 25 is the elephant charm bracelet for $16. All right. Going back into the chat, fell behind a little bit. All right, so number 29 was the Leo Sophia necklace, went to Joanne Baber. 22 was the silhouette box, went to Kim at Oh My Vintage. 21, the colored glass and the long and gold tone necklace went to Gabrielle White. And I think I'd already announced the D got the blue stone spray brooch. So I think we're good on that. And 56, the hat pins and holder went to Laura Bimos. So congratulations to all of you on those items. All right, I promised we'd have some men's jewelry. So if we still got Michael, we've got, I don't know if Viddy joined us. We've got, you got Nate. These are lightweight. We could ship them. We've got a pair of vintage cufflinks. So these, again, were items that I wish I would have had to be able to find a signature to. It's a different style of cufflink. It has the hook, the closure to it. There's not the little pivoting piece that you normally think of in cufflinks. So these probably date to the teens or 20s, and they have never been engraved. So it's pretty rare to find something of this era that doesn't have an initial already emblazoned within that cartouche. So you've got both of the cufflinks. They are showing a little bit of oxidation on the back. So, you know, they might need to get a little bit of a run through the jewelry polisher. But in general, they're pretty good condition. You can see there's a little bit of discoloration on the surfaces there that, again, might be able to be polished up, or if you were to engrave it, or it's just part of the design. So it's a pair of cufflinks, truly vintage, truly unique. You know, these are not going to be the cufflinks that anybody else at the party is going to own. So this pair of cufflinks is $8 by giving me number 2. $8, number 2 for the pair of cufflinks. All right, as we move back into necklaces, I've got another signed piece. I mentioned earlier I started doing research. This is a signed piece of Park Lane jewelry. Now, doing a little bit of research, it appears that Park Lane still exists as a brand somehow at some point today, but now Park Lane is a party brand. I guess it's like Leo Sophia, where you host a party and you sell the jewelry. These are vintage pieces of Park Lane. And so it has the hang tag at the top with the script of Park Lane at the top. This one is a really attractive, the individual spiral gold bar. You can see there's kind of a seam where they run it together. So it's like just got the brushed gold onto it with the multiple chain holding it together, and then another bar. So it's kind of like a whole string of nunchucks just, you know, around your neck. So this is a signed piece of Park Lane jewelry, gold tone, not precious metals or anything. So you can get it though for $8 by giving me number 32. $8, 32 for the Park Lane necklace. All right. Running out of shell jewelry. So we're going to jump to a shell trinket box. Ironically, I don't think this trinket box is large enough to hold any of the shell necklaces if you bought them, because maybe the thinnest one might be able to curl up inside. But this is a hinged box that has a stamp on it, made in Taiwan. So there is a little bit of age to this. It has the hinged box or hinged top that then exposes the velveted, you know, the fabric lining. Just a simple little trinket box. Again, got some age. Good condition. There's a little bit of fraying on the back where they did the little fabric trim, gold trim to go around it. So you got a little bit of fraying, but it's on the back side. So from the front side, still just a cute little box. And you can get it for $5 for the trinket box by giving me number 49. $5, number 49 for the little shell trinket box. All right. You know, I've had coasters in every sale I've done since I started doing live sales. This theme made coasters very, very difficult. But admittedly, I'm cheating a little bit. But I had a set of coasters that when I started digging through my collection, I had this Chinese style bowl is sitting on what looks like, and we're going to call it a jewelry box. All right, work with me here. So we've got a little set of coasters. It is a bowl sitting on a locked box. So it's probably a tea chest, but we're just going to say it's a jewelry box. These are still sealed. So they're still wrapped in their original plastic. You still got the seam. They have, again, they're not super old because there is a barcode on this, but it is a full set of 6. So these are the cardboard, those really heavy style cardboard coasters. The brand is TU, which I couldn't find anything on, so I'm not exactly sure where these were manufactured. But you've got just a set of coasters. I had to squeeze something in somehow to have some coasters. You can have a set of 6 coasters, still wrapped in their original packaging, so they're perfect for a gift for $5 by giving me number 1. $5, number 1 for this set of coasters. All right, jumping to another pin. This is one of the larger brooches that I have. It is, again, gold tone. Could not find a signature on this one either. It has the faux pearl in the center of the rose as well as a faux pearl at the leaves at the body. It's a beautiful piece. It's actually somewhat heavy too, considering it's a brooch. So I mean, there is some weight to it. Unfortunately, as I was trying to clean it up, I discovered you can see there's a little place where the plating or however they manufactured it is flaked away a little bit. So you see the white metal underneath. It's at the bend as it goes up into the leaves. So it's not visible as you're wearing it, but it is there. So I did have to price that accordingly. So I dropped the price from where I felt it was worth to where I felt that it's still an attractive piece, but it has a little bit of damage. So announcing and recognizing that, I priced it only at $9. So $9 for the vintage brooch for number 31. $9 for the little pearl and gold tone flower. This is not a trinket box, but it is a box. And I believe it is a pill box. Based on its size, I can't imagine it would be much of anything else. It might be a snuff box. The lid is fairly tight. I actually purchased it to go into a show, and it was used as a snuff box on stage. But I have no way of, there's no guarantee that's what it is. So it's either a little bit more of a contemporary pill box, or it might have some age. It says it's made in Italy. So it has a nice piece of porcelain on the top. The porcelain is in perfect condition. There's no chips, there's no cracks. There's a little bit of discoloration on the brass, the gold tone metal on the outside. Probably could be polished up, but basically it just adds to its patina. And the clasp does actually snap pretty nicely tight. So again, it could be a snuff box, might just be a pill box. Not really sure. Doesn't really matter because I'm selling it on to you, and hopefully somebody will enjoy it for $4. So $4 for the little snuff box / pill box by giving me number 10. Number 10, $4 for the little box. All right. This is a piece that, unfortunately, I couldn't find an actual maker's mark on it, but I did find that the back of it was signed. It did say 925, so it is sterling. So this is at least the chain is sterling. I could not find any mark on the blue stone or on the earrings. So I'm not 100% sure what these stones are and what the overall value is. These were actually purchased by me for my daughter when she was probably 2. I bought these traveling, and I believe these either came from Singapore or they came from Thailand. Unfortunately, it's been long enough that I don't remember what the stones are. I do remember they were expensive, but I know it's not precious metals. So it's just a beautiful match set with the earrings and the pendant in a sterling silver chain. And I'm passing it on for $25. So $25 for the blue stone, 25 by giving me number 59. $25, number 59 for the matching set of the necklace and the earrings. All right, fell behind in the chat again. So number 1, the Asian style coasters that went to Karen Dondelinger. So congratulations, Karen. 49, the shell trinket box went to Joanne Baber. And number 10, the metal pill box, snuff box went to Melody Harris. So congratulations to each of you. All right. Going to go to an item that when I picked it up, I didn't know what it was. So I did a haul. This was on my trip to Kentucky. I did not get this from George, but I did pick this up while I was on my way to visit George. And it was just this simple porcelain glass piece painted with violets on it with this kind of odd clasp on the back. And I was thinking, well, admittedly, when I first bought it, I thought it was a pin because it was on a piece of, it was on a note card. And I didn't realize that this was a pinch clasp. So then when I realized that, I'm like, oh, well, maybe it's like a scarf clip or something like that, where you would put something between there. And when I talked about it on one of my live hauls, I was very universally told that that is a barrette. So I don't know what era this barrette would be because I helped do my daughter's hair when she was growing up, and I don't remember any barrettes that looked like that. So I'm not actually exactly sure the era of this one, but it's a super sweet piece. It's relatively small. I mean, you can kind of see it's like the size of my eye. It's not a very large piece, so I don't think you're going to have a ton of. Nate's saying that box was a patch box, and now that you say that, I could actually see that being the case. Anyway, this is the barrette, and it is available. If I find the right card, it is available for $4 for the vintage barrette by giving me number 20. Number 20. $4 for the little barrette. All right. Moving back to a box. If you watched, I think it was last week or the week before, Jeffrey did a haul on, he did a Goodwill haul, and he found a set of Frank Lloyd Wright coasters. Ironically enough, I had those exact same coasters. I knew exactly what they were and exactly what they were worth. And anybody who buys anything from Frank Lloyd Wright's gift shops knows they charge a fortune. I have a Frank Lloyd Wright trinket box. This one happens to be from the Roby House. It is a simple box, rectangular in shape. Not only a couple inches deep. It is basically it's plastic. It says right in here, I'm sorry, I said Roby House. It's the Coonley Playhouse clear story is where the pattern comes from. The art glass detail, it is dated 1995. So from Etsy rules, this is technically vintage. It's a simple trinket box. It is not lined on the inside. It is just the plastic / resin of the whole thing, but it is a licensed Frank Lloyd Wright piece, and that's a big deal. Because they do not give their licenses out very often. And you can pick it up for $5. So Frank Lloyd Wright's trinket box, $5, number 52. $5 for the Frank Lloyd Wright box. All right. I had a piece of Park Lane jewelry earlier, and now I've got another piece of Park Lane. This is significantly longer. Again, it's a vintage piece. It has the dangly tag with the script signature in the back. Again, Park Lane was started in 1955. This piece, based on its length, I'm probably saying is 70s. I'm not even sure you would have doubled this up. I think you would have left it long so that it dangled kind of like fringe. But in contemporary day, you would be able to double it up and you would still be able to slide it over your head without undoing the clasp. But it is a signed clasp with Park Lane, so vintage Park Lane. And it's $10, number 7. $10, number 7 for the longer Park Lane vintage necklace. All right. So number 52, the Frank Lloyd Wright box went to KCATX. So that's heading to Austin. Number 20, the barrette went to Lynn Johnson, and she said she will use it as a scarf clip. And I would agree. I still feel that that's its best use. But somebody, I can't remember who it was, but somebody in the chat when I presented it the first time said they actually had that barrette, or at least that clasp. So who am I to question? And the pill box went to Melody Harris, but I think I might have already announced that. So, okay. So moving on. We're going to a pin. This is a contemporary pin. Well, I'm not exactly sure how contemporary it is. I did some research on it. It is a marked piece. It's a little witch pin with the legs that are articulated. It has the name of the brand molded into the back, and it's called New Pro. And evidently that's a thing. Like this is kind of what they specialize in, are these enameled holiday themed pins. So this one is the New Pro Witch. It's in perfect condition. She's got both of her legs. The one foot, as I just held it to the camera, you can see the one foot, it looks like the enamel might have worn down, or might have, the piece of enamel might have even popped out. So yeah, sorry about that. But I still I priced it pretty low anyway, because it's an inexpensive, somewhat contemporary pin, and it's $4. So $4. You know what? Because of the damage, I'm going to knock it down to $3. So it's $3 for the little pin with the damage on her foot that I literally didn't see until I held it into the camera. So $3, number 55 for the New Pro Witch pin. All right, moving on to another necklace. This one is a choker style. This, I think, is considered lobster claw. And what's odd about this one, to be perfectly honest, is it's got 2 lobster claw against each other. And I don't know why. Like, I don't know if there's supposed to be a spacer in this, which would have made it longer, maybe, because this is fairly short. This would be definitely a choker necklace. But normally, like, again, I'm not a specialist in jewelry in any way, but normally you would have one of them would be the clasp and the other would just be a simple ring to hook into. This one, the fact that they both are clasps, I'm not sure if it should, like, there would have been another extender to make this go a little longer. But this is what I've got. So they're blue stones, very, very dark blue stones in a encased white metal background. You can see the entire piece is metal on the back. So it's kind of like a cupcake wrapping up around it. And then the prongs hold the glass into place within that little encapsulated backing. So it doesn't have an open back. So you're not seeing the back of the facets. It's an attractive necklace. I think it's an impressive statement piece. It just happens to be, if you were to do it at a regular length, it would be pretty high up on your neck. So the choker is $8 by giving me number 96. 96, $8 for the blue stone choker. All right. And number 55, the witch pin, went to Laura Bemos. So congratulations, Laura. And don't forget, Laura is here. If she's not been chatting up in the chat, come back on Sunday and you will actually have a chance to see Laura live on air in Trusty's Vintage Deep Dive, where we will be talking about dominoes. So that'll be at the same time as the sales. It's 8 p.m. Eastern on this channel. It'll be Laura Bemos live interview with a live chat, so you can ask questions, and we're going to discover her collection of dominoes and the history of dominoes as well. So congratulations, Laura, for picking up the piece, and I can't wait to have her on the channel on Sunday to talk about dominoes. All right. Moving on to some men's jewelry again. This is probably, and maybe because it's the only thing that I legitimately have a reason to be able to wear, it's a set of men's jewelry that is signed Hickok, Hickok, and who specializes in men's accessories, men's jewelry. You've got this tie clasp that has this chain that if you were to wear this, you would wear this as a regular tie. You would attach it to your shirt and the tie would go through the chain. And so this would sit in front of the tie. So this piece would be what you'd see in front. You would not see the clasp behind it. So you've got the infinity knot of the tie clasp with these blue stones that are absolutely gorgeous. And then the matching cufflinks in the traditional cufflink style. So these are the ones that have the pivoting section to them. It is the tie clasp is marked Hickok. These clearly match, but I cannot find a signature on the I cannot find a signature on the on the cufflinks. I can only find it on here. So they are all together. So I'm keeping them all together, but they're a beautiful piece. I've tried to look to see what they were known for, and they have used better stones in some of their pieces, but because I can't tell that this is any sort of gold, I doubt these are sapphires. They're just exceptionally well crafted gold tone metal with the cabochon stones on the ends, and there's no cracks, there's no chips to the stones. They're just in absolutely pristine and beautiful condition. And if they don't sell, I don't wear cufflinks very often, but this would give me a reason to do so. So if they don't sell for $25, I'll keep them for myself. So the 3-piece set of the Hickok USA jewelry, $25 by giving me number 61. Number 61, $25 for the cufflinks and the tie bar. All right. This was an item that generated some conversation on my Instagram page. It is a ring holder, ring tree, but it is a Masonic ring tree. So it has the In Hoc Signo Space Mea, which I have the translation. I had to look it up because somebody had asked me, so I had already looked it up.
And this symbol is my hope.
There we go. In this symbol is my hope, and it is the slogan, and that is the logo of the Supreme Shrine of the Order of the White, the Supreme Shrine of the Order of the White Shrine of Jerusalem, and it is marked on the bottom, Temple Treasures, but it's also marked with the name of the store that carried it, the F.N. Klessner Company. I've actually had other pieces by F.N. Klessner. They're based in Chicago, and they actually specialized in offering Masonic goods. So it is a period piece, probably from the 50s, that is specifically, it was a female order that you had to be related to or married to a master mason in good standing in order to become a member of the White Shrine organization. That's a lot of information just to see a pretty creepy looking hand. So it is a ring dish, kind of cool looking. It's got the fingernail polish on there. It's got a wedding ring because this is, again, supposed to be, you're supposed to be married to a mason. So you would be married, even though that is, I guess that is her left hand. So you've got the ring on there and then the little slogan in the bottom. You can have the dish for $8, and you can give it for $8 by giving me number 15. $8, number 15. For the Masonic ring dish. All right. This was another item that was on my Instagram stories promoting the sale. This chainmail style epic necklace. So this one has the adjustable clasp on the back. So it can actually be extended to a fairly large size to either have this hang very close as a choker or it can hang down. It's in great condition. It is very uniform in all of the additional metal pieces that are added into the chainmail. So I believe they are all there. You know, there's no markings of where they should be, but it looks right. It looks like it's balanced and it has all the pieces that it should have. This is an impressive piece. It's pretty hefty. I mean, that's a lot of metal in that necklace. So it's a pretty meaty piece, and you can have it for $20 by giving me number 58. Number 58, $20 for the chainmail necklace. All right. Another piece that I picked up at George's. That again, he didn't have a lot of additional information on, but it came from the same estate as that other bluestone spray brooch. So probably this one is also a 50s brooch. It has the same types of bluestones there's the round one faceted in the middle. And then also I wanted to say teardrop, but that's not right. I can't remember what the elongated ones are called. And then you've also got the cabochon style oval blue with a little blue and white striation in the glass. It's a beautiful piece. manufactured extremely well, machine manufactured, obviously. But it's so nicely done. Again, this was a piece that I felt would have been marked, and it's not. So it's not a marked piece. It's just it's again a stunning statement piece of blue, and you can have it for $9 by giving me number 13. $9, number 13 for the multi-stone brooch. All right, as I mentioned earlier, I had 2 sets of the pins. So the first set that I sold earlier were the hat pins that were clearly hat pins. They're much longer. These, I think, are primarily brooches, and I put them into a salt shaker. So this is a case where you've got a made in Japan salt shaker, still has a stopper on the bottom. So this is designed to be a salt shaker, but it works perfectly for the size of these brooches that are in this collection. So you've got 2 styles that are complementary. They're one is slightly darker than the other, but you can see this style of the 2 glass balls with the ring of rhinestones around the middle are both in this set. You also have a black velvet flower that's a very short lapel pin, but it is the full pin because, again, you've got the point on the bottom, but it's just this. You can see it's kind of like a gathered piece of black velvet stitched together to make it look like a rose. You do have one that has a little bit of damage. This piece has the rhinestones around the edges, but you can see on the top there should have been something up there, and it's missing. So that piece has a little bit of damage. This piece that's barely sticking out is one that's been broken. You can see that, again, the bottom is blunt, so the point has snapped off at some point. So this is now a very short lapel pin, could not really be used as a hat pin or anything like that. Most of the others are just moderate shape, relatively straightforward. This one's fairly elaborate with some rhinestones, built into it. All of these are available with the little holder. I will just include at the same time, and you can have the entire set for $9 by giving me number 3. $9, number 3 for the brooches in the little stand. Going back to, I think this is the last piece I got from George, peacocks. So it's a brass peacock, fairly well made, with some colored glass in its tail on a branch. Again, it's made well enough that I would have assumed it was signed, but it's not. So you've got the clasp on the back is the rotating clasp. So it's not the oldest C clasp. It's a little bit, it is a little bit newer than just the open clasp. So there's a little bit of the safety catch that spins around to hold that in place. So I think this is probably, I would think this would be a 70s piece because of all those colors in the tail. So the brass large, again, consider how large this is, large peacock pin, you'd have that for $11 by giving me number 65. Number 65, $11 for the brass peacock pin. Fell behind a little bit in the chat. So number 3, all of the pins in the salt shaker stand. I went to Laura Demos, number 3. Congratulations. The blue faceted glass brooch went to Katie at Vintage and Vinyl. And the Masonic ring tray went to Melody Harris. So congratulations to all of you for those. This piece is the last piece that I picked up along with the hat pins. This one it's a stand. This is a brooch because it actually comes with the little locking plunger on the end. So this is a fully, I'm not gonna say fully functional, but is a complete vintage, fairly substantial brooch. Again, consider the size of this. You've got the glass ball at the top, which with an odd shape that's got the black and gold accents. You got the rhinestone crown on the top, along with a gold finial. You've got the tapered finial underneath it, and then a tapered bar with the point on the end, so that, again, this is complete. To me, this is a stunning piece, and this is available for $12. $12, number 60 for the glass brooch. or a stick pin. All right. Jumping over to, we've only got a couple more pieces we're going to cover. Another pin. This is a piece that we discovered right before the sale started. It is signed on the back. This says Originals by Dobert. And that actually is a word, Dobert, D-O-B-E-R-T. So it's an enameled pin of an apple with a little worm coming out of the apple. And it also has the locking mechanism on it. Original by Dobert. The little brooch is available for $6 by giving me number 40. $6, number 40. And we thought it was Robert too, but Dobert actually is the name. And if you do Google it and look for comps, Dobert it is. So it is the Originals by Dobert. $6, number 40. See you, Nate. All right. We've got this great enamel pin. If you remember a couple sales before, I had some stick pins that were enamel. This was the last piece of that set. I've already sold off all the stick pins. This is the individual, the largest. This is the brooch. None of those were signed. This one is not signed. It also has the locking safety clasp in there. Again, very well made, perfect condition. There's no scratching. There's no issues with this at all. And this pin is available for $11, number 30. $11, number 30 for the enameled rose pin. We're going to jump over to another vintage brooch. This was one that was in the preview, so I want to make sure I got to this one. This is a beautiful filigree gold and silver tone. You can see there's two-tone metal on there with a large faux pearl in the center of the flower. It has that wispiness like that 50s brooch with the blue stones. So this, I think, is also 50s, maybe 60s. I've seen the filigree as late as the 70s, but I think just because of the style of this, you're looking at a little bit earlier. This one also has just the open clasp. So I don't know at what point they replaced that open clasp to the safety clasps. But again, I think so that pushes this probably closer to the 50s. This is available for only $7. So the vintage filigree pin with the faux pearl, $7 by giving me number 24. $7, number 24. I forgot I had one more set of jewelry items. This is the larger jewelry ramp, the velvet ramp. So this is the double compared to the ones that were part of the other set. So you've got the large jewelry ramp, and then you also have the bracelet vault where you've got the individual slots to hold a series of bracelets. These are both contemporary pieces that were to hold Amelia's jewelry collection. We don't need them anymore, so we're passing them on for less than we paid for them, for $8 for that pair by giving me number 19. Number 19, $8 for the two large bracelet and jewelry ramps. The last piece of Park Lane jewelry that I have. This one, I'm not sure how old this style is. I think these are meant to look old. I think they're gorgeous, but I think because Park Lane still exists, I think these are signed right on the back. I think these might be on the more contemporary side. So these are Park Lane necklace, Park Lane earrings, pierced earrings, in absolutely perfect condition. No chips, no cracks, no marks to the metal. So I'm only $8 for the pair of with the amber stone. $8 for number 35. Trying to crank through a couple of last things because I've still got the bargain bin to open up, and the bargain bin has quite a few things tonight. So everything in the bargain bin will be $2, and hopefully people will find some things they like there. So the filigree floral brooch with the pearl went to Katie from Vintage Vinyl. Congratulations, Katie. Number 30, the floral brooch went to Joanne Baber. So the 24 was the one that Katie got. That was the filigree one. Number 30 was the floral brooch. I don't remember which one that was. Oh, the big floral enamel one. My own abbreviations, it failed me. Number 40, the apple pin went to Karen Dondelinger. Number 60, the large glass stick pin went to Stacy Brinkley. And Laura's going to make voodoo dolls out of her hat pins. And 65 with a peacock pin went to Chantilly Chandra. And the brooch, yeah, we already had the brooches. It went to Laura Bemos. Okay. We got a piece of lacquer that I want to show. This is a Eastern European lacquered pin. Again, not 100% clear on the age. You can tell by the handwriting of the hand painted that it was Eastern European, or it might be Russian, but that's not the Cyrillic alphabet. It is made with a safety pin as the locking pin. So again, we don't have serious age to this piece, but it's just an attractive piece of lacquer, which is what the Eastern Europeans are jewelry makers are known for. So if this style of jewelry is attractive to you, doesn't matter the age, you can pick it up for $6 by giving me number 47. $6, number 47 for the lacquered brooch, floral brooch. And let's see, one more pair of earrings, and then one more brooch, and then we are done. So the earrings are older because I'm not even sure they make these anymore. But this one is a pair of gold tone. Blue seemed to be the color that I kept coming across. I don't know why, but this blue tone, this gold tone with these blue stones in it, they're screw type clip-on, or I guess they're not clip-on, they're screw type earrings. They're not pierced. So I don't even know if they make that style anymore. Again, based on the looks of this, I would put these into the 50s, but I could be wrong. But just that open work, that filigree work, I see that being a 50s piece, especially with that pastel stone. These were getting into the 70s. That would have probably been brown or something like that. So the pair of screw back blue stone earrings are $10 for number 63. 63, $10 for the blue gold tone earrings. And then the last piece is another brooch. This one, the Huckster Helper and I almost went blind trying to read this because I was convinced that it said something on the back. It is designed to be hung this way because that's the way the clasp is held. But if you look at the back, you can see as it tapers down, the tone of the surface of the finish seems to change a little bit. And I was convinced that there were letters in there. They're not. It's just the little bumpiness of how they did the finish, the gold tone finish on the brooch. But we've looked at that for quite some time under a jeweler's loop, trying to figure out if it says anything. It does not. It is simply an attractive pin, once again, with a blue stone. I didn't realize I had so many things with blue. And it is available for $8 by giving me number 5. $8, number 5 for the blue stone gold tone brooch. All right. That finishes off all the jewelry. And then we move on to the bargain bin. All right. So here's the deal. Bargain bin. It is an actual bin. For those of you who've not been here before, the bin is, everything in it is $2. There's no individual pricing. There's no, all you need to hear is the letter. So I was kind of going through pretty fast because I was running out of time. I want to be done by 9 my time. So we're going to get into the bargain bin. We're going to go relatively quickly. These are letters instead of numbers. So keeping it relatively simple, you're going to have letters. Everything is $2 and you will just claim as we go. So, and this is a mix. There's a couple of jewelry related items in here, but that's not the theme. This one is just, the theme is $2. So everything's $2. First piece being a piece of dragonware. I am not familiar with dragonware. I've never carried it before. I initially thought this was a saucer, but there is no indentation in it. And the dragon itself is raised. So it'd be very difficult to hold a cup that was too large over that, but you could get a skinny bottomed cup and it would fit in the middle. So it's either just a small plate, a decorative plate, or it's a saucer. It is a piece of dragonware. Regardless, it's only $2 and you can get it by giving me letter H. Letter H, $2 for the dragonware small dish. Another small dish, which is has an original paper label on the back that says Japan. It's the little pin tray. It has the grape motif in it. Initially, I thought there was damage to it. And if you look at the top, you can see where all that, the pottery beadwork goes all the way around. There's a place where the beads don't meet in the middle. And I'm like, oh, there must be a chip or something. That is fully glazed. There's no rough spot. There's like, that was done prior to them finishing it. So I don't know if that was in the mold. I don't know if somebody, when they took it out of the mold, they did that, but that is a manufacturer's flaw, not something that happened after it was produced. But regardless, I pointed out, so it's a little bit odd. So instead of selling it probably for what it's worth, like $5 or $6, I'm selling it for $2. $2 for the little made in Japan dish. They give me a letter S. S is in socks for the little grape dish. Sticking with the Japanese theme, I've got a pair of tumblers. They are small. They're too large to be sake cups, so I think they're just small little glasses, little tumblers. One of them has a hairline crack. So basically, if you want both, I'll sell you both, or I'll send you both. But I'm basically just selling you one for $2, and you get the damaged one for free. So it's kind of this cool little gold background with the script. You've got a bunch of script that does not look like Japanese writing or Chinese lettering to me there. And then you've got this entire like War and Peace epic poem off to the side. So I don't know if that is simply for decoration or if that actually says anything. On the bottom is just a chop mark that looks like there might have been a label on it once upon a time. So I don't know what these are. And so basically, like I said, one's damaged. This one is in perfect condition. I'm just going to sell them to you. You get both of them for $2. $2 for the pair. By giving me a letter B is for ball. B is for ball, gets you the 2 individual cups. And blue is the theme of the night because I've got another blue dish. This one is definitely a saucer. There's an indentation in it, so this should have had a cup that goes with it. When I picked this up, it didn't have the cup, but I got it for a really good price. And the only reason I picked it up was because it is marked Nippon. So when you get into pieces that are over 100 years old, which by definition being marked Nippon, it makes this over 100 years old. I thought it was inexpensive enough for me to pick it up that I thought would be a fun addition to the bargain bin. So you can have it from the bargain bin for $2 for an attractive blue and white dish marked Nippon, proving its age by giving me a letter G. G is for guitar for the dish. Got a tiny little bud vase. Again, pick this up for an inexpensive price. So I'm offering it as the bargain bin for $2. It's in perfect condition, no chips, no cracks. Even the gold is in pretty good shape on the top. A couple places where it's got a little bit of wear, but for the most part, it's all still there. It's only designed on the front. So it is designed, it's not a flat back, but it's designed to be up against a wall. So it is a bud vase, a directional bud vase. It is not stamped in any way, but it has the weight of probably a Japan piece. You can get it for $2 by giving me letter T. T is for turtle to get you the bud vase. All right, look, more blue. This we're drifting into a little bit of blue-gray. So we've got this tile. It has somewhat of a Delft look to it, but the background, it doesn't have the white. It's got this really light gray background. You can see the edge is white, so you can kind of see the difference between the white background and then the light blue-gray of the tile. Unfortunately, the tile itself is not marked in any way, but you can see right on it, there's obviously some age to this piece. It's in very good condition. There's a tiny little chip at the very bottom at the corner where we've lost a little bit of the tile and a little bit of the coloring. But the other corners are all in pretty good shape. And in general, it's just an attractive piece. I mean, it must be a shelf sitter piece. Be attractive on your shelf for $2 by giving me C. C is for cake for the Delft style tile. Next piece, as most of you, if you've watched my channel before, I don't like carrying things with damage. Usually if something's damaged, it just goes to the Goodwill pile and I get rid of it, unless it's something special. So like I thought that Delft tile was pretty cool, so I kept that for $2. This is a mustache cup. I don't come across these very often. This is a super attractive piece. It has the Chinese design on it all the way around. It is not marked in any way at the bottom, but even the bar for the mustache guard is painted. Unfortunately, there is a serious crack that's running down the edge. I would say that it does go all the way through. I think it went all the way through. Well, it goes all the way through at the very top, but not the rest of the way. So hairline cracks are like, they're iffy because you don't want them to make it worse. So I would pack it very, very well. But again, I don't get these very often. So I really didn't have the heart to send it to Goodwill because it would just be destroyed there. So I figure somebody here will give it a good home because you're only going to pay $2 for it. $2 for the mustache cup by giving me letter O is for octopus. $2 for the mustache cup. Something that's not blue, we've got another, this is a small dish. It might have been the bottom of a pitcher and bowl set, but there is no indentation in it. So it's not a saucer. I don't think it's designed, it could still be for a bowl, but it stands alone as just a pin dish or a small little dish. It says right on the back, made in Japan. So it still has the original paper label to it. So you've got an attractive piece that's only $2 for the little hand-painted fruit dish. They give me a letter N. N is for nest for the little the little bowl with the fruit design. There is an item in here that is jewelry related. This is a travel jewelry pouch. It's got the velvet lining. It's got a zippered pocket there. It has a bar on it that unsnaps, so that's where you put all your rings. There's little holes in the velvet. That's where you would put your earrings. And then you've got another zipper pouch on this side for necklaces or whatever. So it's really not well designed for necklaces because they would just get tangled. But it's just a nice little zippered pouch. It's probably like 80s, 90s. You know, there's not super vintagey age to it, but it's kind of cool. I figured it's not worth much, so I didn't sell it individually with the rest of the items. But I'm selling it off here for $2 by giving me letter F. F is for fish, $2 for the little travel jewelry pouch. All right. One of the items that I see on a lot of other live sales and people talk about a lot is milk glass mugs. And so I've been told that I should always pick up the milk glass mugs. So I found some milk glass mugs. So I actually have 2 of these. So the first 2 people that claim these will get 1 mug each. It has the little, look, it's blue. I should have worn blue. I didn't even realize I developed a theme. So you've got this little country scene of kids swinging on a gate with a little house in the background. They're both in pristine condition. They have a match set, but I'm selling them individually. They're $2 a piece. So the first 2 people to give me the letter L get the milk glass mugs. So L for milk glass, we have 2 of them. So the first 2 people will get that. As I mentioned earlier, I don't tend to like to carry things with damage unless it's something special. And I felt this fell into the category of being something special. I see these on occasion, but I don't typically see calendar plates that are dated 1910. So we've got an antique porcelain calendar plate, which even like inches away, I cannot read those letters. I mean, I don't know who they were making this for, but they've got the months that go all the way around. You've got a really attractive fruit, the cherry design in the middle. You've got the individual months along the edge. So you can see March 1910, it's right there. It is stamped on the back, Carnation McNichol. So I did a little bit of research on it. Basically, it's a calendar plate. They did a lot of those. So it is a branded plate. Unfortunately, what puts it into the bargain bin is somewhere there's a chip. Where'd my chip go? There it is. So you've got a chip there at the gold. So it doesn't mar the calendar, but it still is a chip. So you know what? I still want to sell it. I don't want it to go to Goodwill because I still think this is special enough, but I want somebody to give it a good home. And the best way to do that is to sell it for $2. $2 for the 1910 calendar plate by giving me letter V. V as in violin gets you the 1910 calendar plate. All right, this is like an oddball thing that I picked up, but I think I spent too much time with Misty. Just kind of cute kitchen advertising kind of art, like the graphic design stuff. You know, I watched her shop through that through the entire trip in Kentucky, and I really started kind of paying attention and recognizing, you know, why certain things were interesting. It's not something that I typically collect, certainly don't collect. It's not even something I typically resell. But when I picked this up, I just thought this was kind of cool. It's a high flying, and unfortunately the price tag, the 10-cent price tag from Osco covers it up. So it's high fly something, kite cord, and it still has the original banner of its graphics on there, which I think is so cool. So, you know, it's a ball of kite string. You know, maybe it's worth more. I didn't really do a lot of digging to it. I got it for a really good price, so I'm passing it on. I think this would look cool in a vignette, or if you want to resell it, or like Mama J is we're going to go fly a kite. So here is your kite string, and get it for $2 by giving me a letter Z. Z is for zipper for the vintage kite string. Osco is a store from the Chicago area, for those that don't know where Osco is. It actually kind of still exists as part of the Jewel Osco franchise. All right, another twofer. I'm going to sell, I have 2 of these, so the first 2 people to claim them will get this cute little pressed glass squirrel. So you've got this little squirrel, kind of flat, eating a nut. It is just molded glass. There's a very significant seam running along all edges where he was made in the mold. He's not marked in any way. He's, you know, ground down a little bit on the bottom, so he's got a little bit of friction so he doesn't go sliding off a table. But it's simply a glass, 2 glass squirrels. So an individual squirrel, he is $2. The first 2 people to claim him, or first 2 people to claim with the letter Q, will get the squirrel for $2. So 2 squirrels, $2 each for letter Q. All right. Anyone who's watched me for a while knows I have had an obsession, or an affinity, not quite obsession, affinity for Daher tins. The Daher tins, there's a reason for this affinity. If you're not familiar with my backstory, I have done a lot of community theater. I act, but I also do set dressing. And these tins look great on stage because they look like porcelain. So if you're decorating a set, it looks like porcelain, but that hurt. They're not going to break. So I have, like, probably not quite literally tons, but I've had hundreds of pieces of Daher tin, and I slowly, you know, make them available throughout these sales. This is a very simple serving tray. It's an individual tray. I haven't had trays very often. This one is the stamp on the back actually names it, which is actually not normal. So this one is calling it the Fruits and Wines Style number 825. Daher style trays. So this is, I think, going later into the 70s, into the 80s. Most of them just have the copyright of 1971. They changed company names in 1982. So I think this is late 70s, early 80s, just based on that decor. It's not going to match everyone's decor, but it did look great in Michelle's boho creation. So you put this in a vignette for $2, and you can have it for $2 by giving me letter A. A is for apple, to get the Daher flat serving tray. This was an oddball piece that I picked up, hoping it was more than it really was. Unfortunately, it turned out to be a Christmas piece, 3 French hens. You got the Eiffel Tower in the background. You got one French hen eating a baguette, another French hen wearing a beret, another French hen smoking a cigarette. So they couldn't be more French. When I opened it up, all it is it's a Kate Spade Christmas card that's been framed. So a little bit of a disappointment, but you know what? It still looks cool. You keep it in this frame, you don't keep it in this frame. It's a super cool Christmas card, and you can have it for letter K. The frame itself is worth $2. You get the picture. It's just a fun little addition. And if you don't want to pay for me to ship the frame, I don't have to. You get the card, but it's $2 for giving me letter K. K is for key for the 3 French hens. All right, this is another piece that coming into the bargain bin because the 4th one of the set got damaged. And so I just want to get rid of these. They're little sake cups, or if you want to get more contemporary, you can say they are shot glasses, but they're flared lips. So be prepared for that shot to go down your throat. They are made in Japan, individual porcelain sake cups, and they all have the same floral design. Once upon a time, there were 3 of them or 4 of them. Now there are only 3. So they're not worth a lot of money without being a fuller set and without the picture to go with them. So you know what? when I have stuff like that, they come into the bargain bin. So $2 gets you all 3 of the little sake cups by giving me letter W. W is for wagon, also for sake cups. All right, coming down to the last couple things. Got a set of salt and pepper shakers. This is probably 80s. You've got maybe a little bit earlier, because you've got the shaped bottoms and you've got corks. The corks are still in place for both of them, but they've got that wheat pattern. Now, it doesn't seem to match any of the wheat pattern porcelain that I've come across. So I haven't been able to find this pattern. So all it is a simple pair of ceramic weight. It's not porcelain. Ceramic weight salt and pepper shakers. You know what? $2 for the pair. So you get, if wheat matches your color scheme or your theme, then you can have these both for $2. Forgive me, letter E. E is for egg and for a pair of wheat themed salt and pepper shakers. This was fun, and I don't know if anyone's going to want it, but I throw it out there because it's $2. It is an old wooden box with a slide top. It has the 1-cent stamps on there, and the best I could figure out from the date, I think it says 1936, but I couldn't. They were so smeared. I was having a hard time reading it. But you can read you can see the handwriting, you can see the label. This has some age to it. But what's cool about it is that was the shipping label. It came from Aurora, Dr. George Darmer from Aurora, Illinois, which I'm in North Aurora, so this is local to me, with the address on South Broadway. It is a box that had wholesale optician equipment in there. So this was either, maybe they were glass or a pair of glasses, the frames. It was just this cool little box that has the wholesale opticians logo in the top. So the way I bought it was with the label out, because you can see the label once wrapped all the way around. But if you want to display it, you could display it with the opticians thing. So I just thought this was kind of a cool little box, but I certainly wasn't going to put it on Etsy. So I give it to you guys, $2. Give me letter R is for rabbit, gets you the little opticians box. Okay, now Laura's saying it's an old Domino's box. It wouldn't hold very many Domino's though. And it is printed that it's part of wholesale opticians. Since we're doing wood items, got another wood item. It's this tiny little plaque. A house is built by human hands. A home is built by human hearts. Probably 70s. It's got that, that very traditional little hanging hook that you'd have from the 70s and 80s when you did the little wood products. I do think that this is a produced piece. This is extremely smooth, extremely flat. The artwork it's part of the wood. I don't feel that this was like a decoupage project from somebody's home. So it's just a simple little wooden plaque piece, only a couple inches by a couple inches. You can have it by giving me letter Y. Y is for yarn for the little wooden plaque. And we only got 2 items left. All right. One of them is one of the other jewelry pieces that I had that actually is marked sterling. So this is a sterling piece that is going into the bargain bin for $2, because what this is, it's the 5-year service bracelet for Reynolds Metals Company. So the company that makes Reynolds aluminum has a manufacturing facility in McCook, Illinois. My mother used to work there, and this was her 5-year service pin that she would have received in the 90s. It is sterling silver. It has no value to anybody, because who cares about Reynolds Metals? But there's been a lot of talk about cool things to go into junk jars. I considered keeping this and starting my own junk jar, but my entire house is a junk jar, so I don't need to start another one. So this is going to go, hopefully, make a great addition to somebody's junk jar, because it is basically a charm bracelet with a single charm on it with the Reynolds Metals logo for 5 years of service. It's $2. So if you want to add my mother's 5-year service pin to your junk jar, you can get it for letter M is for mouse for this sterling silver service pin. And then the last item from the bin was on my Instagram, so I want to make sure I included this. This was an item. I don't typically promote items that were in my bargain bin, but I thought this was fun. I got this at a good price. It's stamped on the bottom. It's made in Germany. It's just a very thin-walled porcelain planter. Basically, it's too tall to be a toothpick holder. So I'm going to say, and it's too tall to really hold much else that would be tall because it's very thin. It's very narrow. So it would tip over. So it can't hold anything heavy up top. But you know what it will hold? Where's Misty? An air plant. So this just is a cool little planter. It's just an odd little piece that I think reminds me of the clock tower from Back to the Future. It's marked made in Germany. You can have it by giving me a letter P is for pig to get the little porcelain planter. So P is for pig and for planter for the $2 German. And that is it. So I can't believe I ran past 2 hours. So, okay, didn't catch up to Michelle's marathon session from today, but appreciate those of you who stayed with me. That was a lot to cover. Amelia's Huckster Helper's pulling the notes together, and I will announce all of the winners of the individual pieces from the bargain bin, because obviously I did those much faster. But, you know, it's kind of fun watching her run back and forth trying to grab everybody. So really quick, the Daher tray went to Karen Dondelinger. The gold and blue poem cups. What?
It had a poem on it, but you said it wasn't actually Japanese.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. So basically the little cups, say we're going in code, went to Lynn Johnson. The ceramic wheat salt and pepper shakers went to Jenny X. The jewelry pouch went to Melody Harris. The blue and white Nippon dish went to Chantilly Chandra. The dragonware saucer went to Chantilly Chandra. The milkgrass mugs went to Lynn Johnson and Gabrielle White. The service pin went to Vintage Thrifted Treasures. Fruit dish, Chantilly Chandra. The mustache cup went to Melody Harris. Clock tower planter went to Chantilly Chandra. The squirrels went to Jen Bootsy and Jenny X. The wooden box went to Melody Harris. The Japan pin tray went to Lynn Johnson. The bud vase went to Oh My Kib and Oh My Vintage. The calendar plate went to Kathy Snavely. The sake cups went to Lynn Johnson. The house home plaque went to Lynn Hampton. And the kite string went to Melody Harris. So I whipped through all of those. If at any point you have a question of whether you won something or didn't win something, drop an email into the email address that's running across the bottom of this the screen, and we can answer any questions. Amelia, the Huckster Helper, takes great notes, and so we should have pretty good control. Not everything did sell, so if you had questions on anything that didn't sell, if you wanted to see it again or get more information, again, drop us a note, and we will go through all the individual pieces. So for those of you who are still with us, just keep in mind, we've got more sales coming up. Tomorrow is, we've got Chapter 2 Vintage Co. Alex, she does her sales during the day at 1 p.m. Eastern. Chapter 2 Vintage Co. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern is the sale from Real Nifty Vintage. And then at 10 o'clock Eastern is the Sippin' and Flippin' with Fatbird Finds. And that's always that. I look forward to that every week. Over the weekend, I think there's a couple of sales. And then don't forget on Sunday, I've got my deep dive with Laura Bimos on Dominoes. So check out all of our Instagram pages, and I'll just put one plug. If you've gotten this far, for the 59 of you who haven't hung up yet, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would really love for you to subscribe to my channel. I have crossed over 850 subscribers. I'm closing in on 1,000. About 50% of the people who watch my channel do not subscribe, and that's fine. If you don't want to subscribe, I understand. But if you're with me here every week, sometimes people think they're subscribed and they're not. You don't have to sign up for reminders, but if you do, that's great too, because sometimes I do extra videos. But if you're not a subscriber, really would appreciate you considering subscribing. But for now, I appreciate you joining me in the Huckster Helper tonight. I hope you enjoyed the specialty sale. I'll be back next week, 8 p.m. Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. It'll be a traditional live sale with a little bit of everything. So if you didn't like the jewelry, that's okay. Come back and I'll give you a little bit more of something different next week. Thanks so much for joining me. Thanks for putting your trust in a trusty huckster. Have a great night. Bye-bye.